Howdy everybody, and welcome to another exciting video brought to you by me, Jack, VintageElectronicsGeek.com. Today's video is just going to be a quick tease on my video camera collection. In the past, I've made comments either verbally or textually that I will review a said camera at a later date. The reason I have not is I have been extremely busy. I haven't had the time to review the cameras the way I want. I don't want to just say, hey, here's a camera, check it out, ooh, and then that's it. I, as a collector, like to use YouTube as a tool when I either going to purchase a camera or just researching a camera or whatever. I want to see sample footage. I want to hear sample audio. I don't want to just look at the camera. I could see pictures. I want to actually see the dumb thing work, what kind of quality. That way I can make up my mind whether what I have sucks or what I'm going to get sucks. And so it's just a proper way of educating myself. And I would imagine there are others out in the field who, like me, feel the same. Want to see sample video, no foolery. Now I have done 2 videos in the past. Unfortunately, on one of them, the Quasar, I did do some post-editing and added in my own audio track. It wasn't until I was thinking after I did that I shouldn't have. So any future videos that I post of a camera, the first sample shots anyway, will be done raw, straight out of the camera. And the cameras will more than likely be shot as a typical consumer would do, and that would be in the auto mode, full auto mode, where as a professional, I would generally set up my camera for the scene, for what I'm doing, as opposed to just going with awe. Not awe, but awe. I don't know why I said awe. Awe. So without further ado, let me shut up. Let's move on. This is just a tease video of my partial collection. I'm not going to get into anything of what it does, how it does it, or why it does it. This video is just going to show you the camera and the model number and probably the format, and that's it. Move on to the next one. First up on the auction block, we have a Sony. This is a CCD FX630. This is a 8mm camera, and it is mono. Next up from the same time frame is a Sony CCD FX730 V as in Victor, 8mm camera. This is a mono camera. The differences between the 2 cameras, for the only other thing I'm going to show you, this one has a wing. This one do not. This one that do not have a wing, the 630 is a new purchase by about 3 weeks ago. This is a new purchase by about 2 weeks ago. This is a Sony Mini DV, and its number is DCR TRV as in Victor 70. Now with wings. This is a really cool camera. Also has a flash. Oh, hot and cold shoe. And for portables, these are all little digitals. I have about 4 or 5 more of these, so one day we'll get to those. This here is a Kodak ZI6. It's a 720 HD digital camera. Here is a Flip Minnow. This is a standard def camera. Here is a flip camera. This one is actually made by the original manufacturer, which is Pure Digital. And again, this is a standard def camera. Digital, of course. And hey, guess what? Another flip camera. However, unlike the one we just saw, this one is not SD. This one is HD, and this is a recent purchase by about 2 weeks. In fact, the guy that I bought that Sony camera from, the silver one, I got this from him as well. This camera don't work. It has problems and may make a future YouTube video out of it, but it's kind of cool. Look at that. So you can sit there and watch your videos. Okay, next up on the auction block we have a Panasonic. This one is model number P as in Paul, V as in Victor, 2220, PV-220. This one is a VHS-C camera. This did work. I bought it, brought it home, turned it on, started playing with it, stopped working. So I need to tear it apart and find out why. Here we have a Sony model CCD TR71. This is a Video 8 camera. This camera does work. Unfortunately, it needs a little love. It has bad capacitors. Next up on the auction block here we have a Sony CCD FX620, and this is also a 8mm. This one is a hi-fi stereo camera. And next up we have another Sony. This is a 8mm camera. Model number on this is somewhere. It is a CCD TR416. And look, it comes with the titler. That's always a fantastic option to have with the camera, is a titler, ain't it? I like titlers. And this big guy, believe it or not, is not a Sony. This is a big monstrous JVC. Model number on this little guy, it's somewhere. It's secret. Oh. As you can see, it's a Super VHS, so it's an SVHS-C format, and model number is GRS505. This other big camera right here is a High 8, and it is a Sony, model number CCD TRV58. This is a mono camera with wings. I have used this camera. This camera did work last time I used it, which was last December. So 11 months ago was the last time I used this camera. And it worked pretty decent. I put a big old hood on it. Exciting, I know. This camera is one of the cameras that is sought after. What I mean by that is this one has a night shot on it, and this is the one that is very, very powerful night shot. It's because of, well, not necessarily this camera per se, but cameras in its early days like this that caused Sony to turn down the night shot. Very, very powerful, and because of such, perverts would put filters on their camera and be able to see through certain clothing. This camera is expensive on eBay, at least last time I checked, because of that reason. And we'll conclude this video with this camera right here. This is one of my favorite cameras. In fact, I'm using this camera currently to shoot a documentary. I use this camera often. When I'm not using this camera, then I'm using the Canon camera that I'm using to shoot majority of my YouTube videos. So it's between one of the two cameras that I use exclusively. The others I just dork around with, play around with. So what we're looking at here is a Panasonic DVX 100B. B as in Bravo. This is a 3 CCD chip camera. It is mini DV and it shoots 720. Easy enough to convert to 1080 if I so desire. I have the bag on the eyepiece to help keep dust and debris getting into here. I do have the jacket for it. If anybody's ever priced those jackets, you know they're very expensive. So I don't keep the jacket on exclusively 100% of the time. I guess I should, but I don't. But I do keep this on. It has a flippy outy thing with all the bells and whistles of controls. And it has 2 XLR microphone inputs, and those are hot. Well, I guess that's about it for this video. Again, wanted to reiterate, this is just a tease video. When I have time, I will, almost said interview, but review each camera individually in its own right. That way we all get to enjoy. And again, this is only a partial look at my collection. I have more cameras than a body has a right to own, I guess. I don't know. And the same could be true with my still camera collection, which I'll in time do a sneak peek review of that as well. All right, I've rambled on long enough. With that said, arrivederci, auf Wiedersehen, happy hunting, whatever it is you do. Have a great one. We'll see you then.